Every week there's a minimum of 10 grand to be won on the AFTV PICK10. Now remember, you don't have to get them all right, you just have to get them most right. Click the link below and play.
Hi, and welcome along to the Invincible podcast with myself, Robbie, over here in Qatar still, getting ready for the World Cup final, and Lee Judges back in the UK. -7 strikes by the nurses, strikes on the railway, strikes. Are Arsenal on strike? I don't know, man. I keep hearing about all these strikes over there. What's going on in England, man? It's like the whole country's gone to pot.
Listen, since you've been gone, it's gone to pot like that. I mean, it really has. You know, it's been a nightmare. I'll tell you what, Robbie, you don't know how lucky you are being over there. It has been so cold for the last week, since last Sunday. It is unbelievable. And it was -7 yesterday. It was absolutely freezing. And with all the strikes going on and everything like that, it's been a bad week, I tell you, like, you know what I mean? 2.5 hours it took me to get home the other day. Unbelievable, like, you know. So yeah, and there's all strikes going on. Yeah, it's been you know, and watching the Arsenal in the sunshine as well, sweating and all that. I'll tell you what, they'd have had a shock when they come back. I tell you, like, you know what I mean.
I know.
You know,
I saw a picture.
Froze up. I don't know if it's true. You know what I mean, but it's a bit of a worry.
Yeah. I saw a picture yesterday of like Gabriel. He had it on his Insta, right, and it was like him and his missus, and they were like out in the garden. And honestly, it looked like, I mean, I know it is Christmas time, obviously, but it was like a Christmas card picture with like snow everywhere. And I thought the snow had gone.
Nah.
Like snow everywhere. It just looked like, I was like, wow, man, it does look very cold over there.
Whoa. And like the thing why the snow's not gone is because it's just not got above, freezing. I think maybe 1 degree during the day, so the snow's just hanging around. I think it's going to be going Sunday, so I think that Sunday it's going to slightly mild up, and then it's going to rain. So we'll have floods then, Robbie. You know what I mean? It's unreal, isn't it? Like,
well, I'll be back. I'll be back next week. So after the World Cup final, actually, when you think about it, it means that the decision by Arsenal to do the warm weather training over in Dubai was a spot of genius, wasn't it? Because imagine if they had have stayed at home, even maybe stayed in Europe and done their games, because, you know, I heard the rest of Europe's been pretty cold as well. I mean, yeah, that wouldn't have been great, but they've been able to come over to Dubai, get some great warm weather training in, be training at good intensity each and every day. And yeah, it's a good thing they did that. And we saw, again, them in a friendly, this time against AC Milan. I watched it over here in Qatar, and I thought, again, they looked all right. They looked all right.
Impressive. I've got to say, I've been impressed with these last 2 games. I think, I don't know how you feel over there. I've been a bit worried about the West Ham game, because you don't know what you're going to get. But I know it's only friendlies, but what I've seen is very, very mirrored to what I see in Orlando and in pre-season as well. Like, you know, intensity, hard working. I'm loving the way we're winning the ball back, Robbie. We win the ball back very, very quickly, and then in areas where we're on the front foot. And I'll tell you what, you know, yeah, all right, AC Milan have got players missing, so have we. They're perhaps not as far down as we are. But, you know, we were saying all this stuff about Chelsea. We were saying this about Seville and everything like that. And when it comes to the season, we was really, you know, properly done. And I sense that with Mikel, the way he's talking and everything like that, that the team's ready to go again. And I've really enjoyed those last 2 games. I know you can't compare it to the World Cup and things like that, but I haven't, the way we press teams and hurry down the ball and everything like that, I don't see no one else doing that. I haven't seen. I know it's a different game, international football, but I'm loving what we're doing at the moment, and some really good performances as well, like, you know. So and Thomas Partey was back in the teams earlier than what I thought. So
Ben White as well.
Ben White, yeah, I thought he'd done very well for that 45 minutes. So, you know, it's all looking really good. And as I always say, Robbie, like, you know, these players want to play for Arsenal, not because of Champions League football, not because of this. They're hungry to play for Arsenal, and I think that's a massive thing for us.
Yeah, no, most definitely, and I think we spoke about it on last week's podcast. There is a contrast, like watching Arsenal play and watching the World Cup games, because the World Cup games is what I've noticed, right? Especially when you get to these sort of latter rounds, there's no pressing until you get into the opposition's box. Teams let you have it, and then when you get into the opposition box, they press. And obviously, you know, I mean, there's games in this World Cup. These teams have been playing like literally every 4 days. So I don't think you can afford to go all out like that, or you just burn yourself out. So it has been refreshing to see Arsenal and the way they play and the pressing. And like you said, to see that they haven't let up on that style. The style's still the same. They're still doing the same things that they were doing before the actual World Cup started. They look, the players that are there, they look fresh. They look ready to go. And I mean, that was one of my big questions. Are Arsenal going to be ready for the start of the new season? Now, at the moment, as a team, what we're seeing, they look ready. There's still some players still to come back into the fold, but they look ready. And they even really, now at the World Cup, there's only really one player, which is William Saliba, and he hasn't really played, has he? He's only played one game. So he should be ready to come straight back in after the World Cup. I mean, how ready are we? How ready are we looking? Because it is literally now the friendly on Saturday against Juventus. And then that's it. It's all in, you know, all in, isn't it? Next week now, West Ham, then Brighton, you know what I mean? And then a really hectic January. Are we looking ready to you?
Yeah, I think we are. And I'm going to say it now. When Jesus got injured, that knocked the stuffing out of me a little bit. I thought, oh, no, really down about it. And yeah, and then I've seen these two friendlies. I've got to say, Eddie looks sharp. He looks really good. You know, we're going to play a little bit differently. He's going to probably be a little bit more in the box. So we're going to have to create a little bit more that way. But I do think that we're ready. I also think that we've been fortunate with other players coming back. Like, as you say, Xhaka and Partey are back in there now. Ben White's hardly had a game. And the other thing is, the one player now that we've got in Saliba, you know, he's going to be fresh and raring to go, isn't he? Because he's not hardly kicked a ball in anger like over the. Maybe he'll have to have a game behind closed doors when he gets back, but he's going to be back within a week, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be okay to play, Robbie. I really do. I don't think there'll be a problem. But if he's not, you know, Rob Holding's done well in these last couple of games, so it's only for probably one game if he's not available. But I think he's going to be okay for it. And yeah, I do think that we're looking good. Vieira, by the way, looks very good. So, and I don't know about you, but I've been encouraged what Mikel has said. He's turned around and said that he's going to be making. They're going to be very active in this, whatever that means. Very active. I don't know, but
very active looking.
Yeah. Like, you know, I'm going shopping later. I'm going to be active. Where do I buy anything? I don't know. Like, you know, but you know, looking around Selfridges and things like that. I'm always busy and active, but I don't know. Does the old credit card come out, Robbie? That's what you've got to do. But I think that I think that they will. I think that we're in a fantastic position. I was looking at it the other day. We're 5 points clear. We've got a real opportunity, not to just challenge for the title, but to get top four, which is Champions League football, which, let's be honest, the owners want. They want that, you know. And if they want it, it's there for us. It's there, you know. You can see it. You can see it there. And we've just got to be able now to take it. And, yeah, losing Jesus is going to be a big blow to us. But the one thing I will say about it, and we were talking about this the other day,
I lost you a bit there.
The one thing that can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, the one thing that we're not going to miss Jesus for is his goals. And I don't mean that in a critical way. He scored 5 goals. So I don't think that's the thing we're going to miss. I think Eddie's probably going to in 10 games. If he plays 10 games, I think he'll get 5 goals. I don't think we're going to miss the goals. It's all that other little bit of stuff that we're going to miss. Yeah. But listen, Eddie got the free kick for the goal for Odegaard. So I thought he done really well, Robbie. I've got to say that. You know, people have got to give him a bit of a... Yeah, it's his time. It's his time to shine. He's got to come out of it now.
You've got to step up, right? Listen, right? these are the opportunities where, for me, Eddie and Ketcher now, you have to step up.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? The manager's shown a lot of faith in you. He's given you the number 14 shirt. Excuse me. He's given you the number 14 shirt. He's shown a lot of faith in you. This now is your time to step up. We've seen it in the past, right? Players that have been given the opportunity and stepped up, right? I remember all those years ago when Ashley Cole got injured and Flamini came in and we was like, oh. And he stepped up.
Right point.
He stepped up. And there's been other players in the past. Coquelin, I remember when he came in, he stepped up and improved it. This is what we need to see from Eddie now. He's been given the opportunity. We're going to be very, very reliant upon him. He needs to step up. He needs to say to the manager that, you know what, this is what I'm here for, man. I'm here to, you know, if anything happened to Jesus, don't worry, I got it. Yeah, I got it. Now, if he can step up, we can still continue on and have a great season. I still think, though, we're going to have to go out there and invest in the transfer market, because you think about it, even if he does step up, number one, he can't play every game, right? Because if he's then becomes the main man, he can't play every game. And number two, we still need to have something in reserve on the bench for games when it ain't quite going well. And that's the thing that also worries me at the moment. There's no sort of option. So when Mikel Arteta says he's going to be active, he has to be active.
Yeah.
He has to be active. And obviously, I'm still seeing the links to Mikhailo Mudryk of Shakhtar Donetsk. There's even been suggestions of João Felix, which I just can't see that for that amount of money in January. There's talk of even Vlahovic again. Again, that would be mega money. But then I do look on it and I think to myself, the owners now, with 5 points clear, we got a great chance to win this league. I'm not just on about no top four. Win the league.
Yeah.
There's most teams that go into the new year top of the league. The majority of them go on to win it. Not all of them. And we've even seen in recent times, you know, I mean, that hasn't happened, but you're in a strong position. Finish that second part of the season very strongly. You know what I mean? And put a lot of pressure on the teams around us by winning. You know, especially at the Emirates, you know what I mean? And that's why that game next week against West Ham is very important, I feel, because if we are to get anywhere near winning that league, it's going to be that home form is going to be absolutely critical. We've got to keep that fortress. But they've got to be active in January. They have to be active, because to me, it could be the thing that could push us on to glory this year.
Yeah. You make a fantastic point there. It's not just probably the starting 11. It's what comes on from the bench, and also like what I think. Say like if you're playing quick games in succession, you can take Jesus off if he was playing, put Eddie on like for the last 20 minutes. Just keep him. We ain't going to have that option if we don't bring anybody in. You know, Smith Rowe's not about, which is. That's the biggest disappointment of these two games for me, Robbie, that he's not played. I was hoping that he would be involved in these two games. He's not. I know he's been out there, but he's not been involved, and that means he's not going to be ready for Boxing Day and Brighton,
no way,
which is a massive blow. Because if he was to come in, you've got that little bit of quality coming off the bench. We haven't got that, and I'm with you on this. So I think that there are times when not just when you need a goal from the bench, but sometimes you just need to just give everybody a little bit of a rest. You know, and we have not got that in our locker now. And if he doesn't do it, if they don't do it, then I can see Arsenal fading. And if they do fade and they don't bite, then it's at Edu and Arteta's door, because they've had the opportunity.
It'd be criminal.
Yeah, it will be criminal. Yeah, it will be.
It will be criminal. It'd be criminal if we don't. And I think all the sort of good vibes and good favour that's been built up through, you know, towards Edu, even to like somebody like a Josh Kroenke, right, would dissipate if we don't go out there in January and we don't do the business. You know what I mean? We've got to do that.
I totally agree.
And, you know, and also we've got to try and do at least one of those bits of business early. And I think, you know, I think if we're smart in the transfer market, right, and we bring in at least one of those signs that are exciting and get the fans vibes up and get the players vibes up. Honestly, it's about pushing to try and win the league. I mean, everywhere I've been over here, people just keep stopping me. Arsenal fans stopping me and saying, "Do you think we can do it?" A lot of other fans with a little mocking way. I've noticed a lot of them. What, you think you're going to win it then? Think you're going to win the league? And laughing. And I'll say to them, "Well, we got a good chance, ain't we?" "Well, I don't know, man." I go, "Well, why not? We're 5 points clear. We're top of the league. Why haven't we got?" Honestly, I would love to shut up a lot of these fans, because they're just like, they all secretly think that we're just going to fall away and crumble, which, let's be fair, we have done before in the past. Yeah. We got to prove to them that this is a new, different Arsenal, and we don't do that no more. And I think an important part of that is going to be what we do in January.
100%. And that's why I think they've got to come out early doors, like 1st of January, 2nd of January, and go, right, we've got this one. Announce it even before the January transfer window opens, because you can do that. So we've got this one done, and on the 1st of January he's arriving. That would be fantastic. That would be a big boost for us. Look, a couple of my Spurs, you know, mates have been saying, like, you know, they weren't looking forward to Arsenal coming in January. They weren't. They were worried. Now all of a sudden they're looking forward to. They're looking forward to, not looking forward to it, but they feel a little bit more optimistic that Jesus is not there. You know, but all of a sudden, if you got Mudryk there or somebody else in there, like, you know, all of a sudden they'd be a little bit worried again. Like, people were worried about us, Robbie. I don't care what anybody turns around and says. People were worried about Arsenal. Oh, they keep winning. They keep winning. You know, when you go in the streets, when are you going to lose a game? Like, you know, well, like, you know, that's what we was doing. Now all of a sudden, they're all a little bit chirpier because we've lost our star player. Like, you know, and I don't care what anybody says. He has transformed Arsenal. I don't care what anybody says. Yeah. From when I first see him to what I see now, he has and I don't see as good as we've done in the last couple of games. We're not quite as exciting with him in the team. I don't care what anybody says. Yeah, so yeah, we need to do that and bring in somebody just to say, look, you know. What's the thing I'm saying? Like, that we are a serious football club now. The owners are serious, you know, and that's a great point. Also, you make is at this moment in time, you know, even Turkish was saying the other day, he's quite saying, like, you know, yeah, the Cronkies are doing okay. And I thought, wow, I had to sit down. You know what I mean? Like, now you've got everybody going on the right side. Everybody's on the same page, Robbie. Like, if you don't go and buy no one and don't go and do this, all of a sudden people will start turning again. We don't want that. We've got the ship going in the right direction. We don't want to be people trying to derail it or put it off course. And they've got a real good opportunity now to say, look, we believe in this manager. We believe in this team. We're going to go ahead and do it. I think it's vital this January. I think this January would tell us everything we know about this ownership and everything this January. Not in the summer. I think in the summer they've done some good business again. As Edu said, you know what I mean? But we're going to have some good players, and he was right. But this one now, I don't think we quite got enough of numbers properly in midfield in the first place. But now January comes along, we've got to make. This is the most important transfer window in Arsenal in the Cronkies run. This is the one now. And if last January they didn't do nothing,
they blew it.
Please learn from your mistakes.
100%. Just to remind everybody about AFTV PICK10, our PICK10 league. We are going to be going at it again this weekend. There's a prize pot of £10,000 to be won. It's all based around the championship games because the championship is back already. And there's some interesting games in it. Actually, what did you go? Bristol City, Stoke. I've gone for Stoke.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Bristol City have dropped out of form, you know. Drops a little bit of form, but I've gone for Bristol City on that one.
Burnley, Middlesbrough, I went for Burnley.
Yeah.
Cardiff, Blackpool. I've gone for Blackpool. Charlie Patino. I'm backing the boy. Right. What other ones was in there? Hull versus Sunderland. That's a bit of a derby, that is.
Yeah. Hull have picked up a little bit. Sunderland have faltered in the last few games, but that'd be an interesting one. I'll tell you the interesting one also is West Brom. West Brom have been really poor, but they've won their last 4 games now. See, I'm checking the form out on these games now. Right? You know?
Don't worry, so have I. And they have been playing well.
They have been playing quite well. So that'd be an interesting one. And the top of the table, up the top there, Norwich, Blackburn. Blackburn, I don't know what you're going to get with him, Robbie. You know what I mean? 1 minute they're hot, the next minute they're cut. This championship, I'll tell you what, like, you know, it's a mixed bag. You know, you think the Premiership's hard. This is even harder, I'll tell you. Like,
I'm going Norwich on that one. I'm going Norwich on that one.
Yeah, I think sometimes you just got to go a little bit on the home form. That's why probably I went for Bristol City over Stoke. But, you know, Stoke are just a little bit inconsistent. So, yeah, some tough games there. Huddersfield, Watford. Huddersfield are right in the mire at the moment. I couldn't believe that when I see that.
Going for Watford for that.
Yeah, I've gone for Watford.
Definitely going for Watford.
Right, so Huddersfield will win that now.
So AFTV PICK10, deposit £5. Click the link in the description and you can play. It's a lot of fun as well. Get involved in that right now. But that is our PICK10 for this week. And as I said, there's a prize pot of up to £10,000 this week. So make sure you get involved. Of course, this weekend over here in Qatar, it's the climax, the World Cup final league. I'm lucky enough to be going to that. I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be, I mean, we're going to the 3rd place playoff tomorrow.
Oh, you're going there as well? Brilliant.
Yeah, I don't even know why they bother with that, but you know,
I don't know why they bother with that.
I mean, I don't even know how they get Morocco to get a team out there. They were so mashed and knackered the other night after their semi-final. But yeah, it's the final. France versus Argentina. Mbappe versus Messi. First of all, just before we get to that, we haven't even spoken since the England game.
Yeah.
That penalty by Harry Kane. What was he doing, man? I mean, like, why has he never done that when he plays against us?
No. Let the country down, didn't he, Rob? Let the country down. Right,
and then I saw the video with you where you were saying, which I have to say I agreed with you. I mean, he did look a little tired at the game, but so what? He was a man in the match as far as England players was concerned.
Yeah.
Why did he take Saka off?
I don't know. I still don't know to this. You know, no one can give a proper explanation to that. You know, I thought he was fantastic on the day. He was causing all sorts of problems, and they took him off. You know, and I will say this: was Harry Kane tired? Yes, he was, but he didn't take him off, did he? You know, I'm not saying that he should. But you don't take off the player that's causing all sorts of trouble. And if you're going to take him off, bring on someone that's going to do exactly what Saka was doing and taking players on. That was Grealish. He put Sterling on, and you know, we never really. I think he was a bit too cautious again on the day. But I would have put. I don't know about you, but I would have put a lot of money. I thought Harry Kane was going to score, like, you know what I mean. And I thought, do you know what? When that
I was right behind it, Lee. I was right behind the goal.
Yeah.
And when he blasted that ball, man, I was like, I could not believe it.
No, I could not believe
it. One job.
And one job he had to do. Like, and I actually said, because I felt if he missed that, we're probably going to go out. If he scores it, I think we're going to go on and win it. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, because I thought that second half, all the momentum was with England. We were playing well.
100%, like, you know, and I'm thinking to myself, now I'm going to have to cheer this goal because this is a vital goal, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, and then when he missed it, I could not believe that he missed it. I actually just said, I turned around and said, no way he's missing it. But I'm still shocked that he has missed it. But if England are going to go out, Robbie, that's how to go out, like, you know what I mean, from an Arsenal fan, like Harry Kane doing that, like, going out, like, you know what I mean? So we could take a little bit of consolation from it, that if you're going to go out, and of course he's took a lot of sticks since, but I thought England were, I'll tell you what, I don't think France are that good, do you? I know they've got the players up there.
I think, you know what, when you think as well, I got to give them credit, right? You think the play them amazing, right? And they have, you know, they've done all right, man. They you know, even the other night, Morocco, that's a hard game with the support Morocco had and everything like that. They've come through that as well. I do think Argentina will win that, though. I backed Argentina before the tournament even started, and they've impressed me this tournament. And Messi has been brilliant. He's been absolutely brilliant. The really intriguing. Oops, you still there?
Yeah, still there.
Yeah, saying Messi versus Mbappe is going to be really, really intriguing on Sunday. It's going to be some game, I'll tell you that. And I can't wait. I can't wait for that game. And just going back on Saka, I mean, he's been one of the best young players at this World Cup. He can leave the World Cup with his head held up high. The value of that kid has gone up. We got to start doing things and winning things because everyone's going to want him. He's excellent. You know, a lot of times as Arsenal fans, we say to other fans, yeah, this kid, man, he's brilliant. He's this, he's that. And they don't really, because they don't see him week in, week out. I think a lot of fans have seen him on a regular now in these games, and they're like, hey, he's special. You know, obviously, I've been over here. Flex has been here from United View, and he's been like, he's top draw. And Saka, you know, he's only going to get better. Yeah. And again, another player is going to be key to Arsenal having a good season, you know, and possibly maybe winning the league. But he was superb. Superb. You know, I was chatting to a fan the other day, and he was going on about Dembele for France. I go, yeah, as far as I'm concerned, Saka's better.
Not in the same league.
Come on. I go, what do you mean? Come on, why are you telling me Dembele's better than Saka? Is that only because he plays for Barcelona? He's in the France. I'm telling you, Saka has more in product than Dembele. Dembele's a great player, but I think Saka has more in product. Yeah. He scores more goals. He's been brilliant. He's been absolutely brilliant. But yeah, looking forward to the final. I'm going Argentina. Who are you going?
I'm actually going to go France. I think France have just got that couple better players. I think that up front, the three. By the way, Griezmann has been absolutely outstanding.
He's been unbelievable.
Oh my word! What a player! I've changed my mind about it. I don't know about if you've heard out there. There's a little rumours that Benzema might be.
Lots of rumours that Benzema will be at least on the bench. Yeah. Which I don't blame France. Why not? You got a player like Benzema that you could be. He was in the squad originally.
Yeah, so
he's got his injury. So why not bring him back? You know, I mean, you got him on the bench, man, and it ain't happening. You can bring him on.
Yeah, I think that they'd be mad not to. They'd be mad not to. He was included in the squad, but they had to go one light because he pulled out the day before, I think, wasn't it? So he's eligible to play. So if he's fit, you know, I'll definitely like put him on in the last 20 minutes if things are going wrong for him. You know, what a little boost that will be for him.
Yeah.
So I just think, you know, any team, and I'm not being biased, and I say this, any team that can leave Saliba out of it, right, they must be one hell of a team. You know, so that's why I'm going France.
Yeah, no, they are. They got an unbelievable squad, man. And, you know, no Saliba's hardly played. Camavinga, who's in midfield, he ain't played. I mean, they've just got unbelievable. And they're all, you know, their squad is so young.
It's still young, which is frightening.
Frightening squad they've got. And as I said, been missing so many top players. But, yeah, it's going to come to a climax on Sunday. I am going to miss Qatar. It has been brilliant over here, you know what I mean? As I said, we've been doing a couple of these shows. It's been a wonderful, wonderful tournament. There's been no trouble. It's been played in the right spirit. The games on the pitch have been good. I was chatting to a fan yesterday. He went to a local football game, a team called Al Rayyan, and I was chatting to a guy who was at the game, and he said to me, he goes, what he thinks has been the family tournament. And it is very true. You go to Gamesley and you see so many families there, so many people with their kids, it's been brilliant. And then I think for this part of the world, for them to be seeing the superstar players on the pitch, it's been unbelievable. I mean, I was in a game the other day, and you know, you just see the fans, their eyes light up when they see Mbappe and they see Messi, and they, you know, it's once in a lifetime for a lot of the people over in the Middle East. So it's been brilliant. It's been honestly, I find it very difficult to fault it. You can talk about the issues that were spoken about before the tournament, but I'm talking about the tournament itself. It has been brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and the people over here have been really hospitable, and it's been fantastic.
Do you know not one
and we've
English
got
arrest?
ourselves a great final.
Yeah, got a great final. Not one English arrest. That's never happened before. I tell you, like, you know what I mean? So,
well, could alcohol have something to do with that?
Well, I think that it does, Robbie. I think people do change when they've had a drink. They do.
You've got to say, you know what I mean? Like, I've been to all the England games, and there's been no trouble. There was a little. I remember we saw a little argument at the England-Wales games between England and Wales fans, but it was quickly sort of stopped. But the no alcohol thing has stopped all of these issues.
Yeah,
got to say,
well, you got to say it, innit? Proof's in the pudding. Like I think alcohol does change people, and then what the trouble with the English culture, I'll be honest, is that they can't, even if they just have one or two, they can't. They have to have 4 or 5, and I remember coming back from the PSV game. You got fans can't even walk. You know what I mean? Like have to be carried by their mates because they've drunk so much. Like, you know what I mean? It's a culture that's over here, and when you get that, and when the way you're saying it, then it's not a bad thing, is it?
I mean, you contrast it to, remember, the Euros final. Where people had literally been drinking all day long. And then by the time it got to the evening time, when that final took place, it was absolute chaos on Wembley Way. And, we got to start looking. I'm not saying an alcohol ban necessary but certainly the one thing I say, we can't fault them for them doing it here, because I've not seen any trouble. And then, as I said, you've gone to games and there's so many families there. Yeah. So many women at games, so many families at games. I mean, the Argentinians, they were little kids with them, like they're barely a year old. And they're jumping up with them. And
seen that, like, with babies and things like that. And I don't care what anybody says, Robbie. If you're in a place and there's, say, like 200, 300, I'm not just saying English, any fans drinking beer and all that, like, it can be a little bit intimidating for families when they see that. So families think, oh, I don't want to go, like, and you've got to walk past it and you don't know if they're going to throw beer over you. I'm not saying they're going to, but you've got that fear. You know what I mean? And that's probably one of the reasons. And the families now are all like going and all that. I've always liked that, to see that. I've always liked, even at Arsenal when they do the Emirates Cup and you see families and things like that. Yeah, I've always liked that. You know what I mean? Because
that's what every game's been like. It's been like that. And I saw David Dean, of course, ex-Arsenal chairman. And obviously, we know that he had a lot to do with previous England bids and stuff like that. And I saw him saying that he's been to every World Cup since the 60s, since the late 60s. And he said that this is the best one. That's what he said. Yeah, and certainly I was in Russia and I've done France. And it was better than those. This has been really, really good. And I will miss it. I will miss it. And I've liked the climate at this time in December. But I am looking forward to the return of the Premier League.
Yes.
And I can't wait to see Arsenal, honestly.
Not long now. Not long now.
Not long now. There's the game against Juventus on Saturday, isn't it?
Yeah, Saturday, that is. So, we've got that game Saturday. And then that's it. You know what I mean? I think that it's nearly sold out. I think there's going to be a big crowd there. So, everybody's looking forward to the season, like, and it's here now, Robbie, like, and I've got to say, this World Cup, I don't know how quick it's gone for you over there, but it's just flown by, hasn't it? Like,
it has flown by. It has flown by. It's gone really, really quickly.
It's all over on Sunday. It's all over.
Yeah. But looking forward to the Premier League returning. Looking forward to Arsenal returning, and looking forward to seeing you guys. Seeing you in the flesh again, mate.
I'm going to say this: the guys, everybody's missing you, like, you know what I mean? And Jason out there, and not so much Hash, but they're missing you two guys. You know what I mean?
Funny enough, right? Jason was supposed to have flown back this morning, and because he needs to get back for some important business, and he extended his flight. He extended his flight until Sunday. He wants to stay. You know what I mean? It has been that type of trip. It has been really, really. I mean, apart from they've had a little flu going around here, which I picked up.
Yeah, a lot of people. I see you had it, didn't you? And
yeah, man, it struck me down for a couple of days. But
yeah.
apart from that, it's been brilliant. Been absolutely brilliant. And I want to thank everybody over here who's like helped us with this trip as well. It's been fantastic. Lee, as our dear departed Claude, you once said, it's time to go, right? Right, because actually going to be doing an interview on the radio station down here this afternoon as well. They're going to be talking about the World Cup and also talking a bit of Arsenal with them as well. So looking forward to that and looking forward to coming back. So, yeah, can't wait to see the Arsenal again in the flesh. And Lee, take care of yourself. And once again, to everybody out there,
enjoy that World Cup final and a safe journey back. And I'll see you next week.
Thank you very much. And everybody, don't forget, AFTV PICK10. Right, AFTV PICK10. The link is in the description. Click it right now. A prize pot of up to £10,000. And yeah, we'll be back next week unless there's some sort of strike or be a strike on the planes or something like
electric strike or something.
I can't believe what's going on.
I'll tell you what, unbelievable.
As long as Arsenal don't go and strike, we're good.
No, that's the main thing. Do you know what? On that day, Boxing Day, there's no trains and all that. I think they're on strike. So you know what I mean. So. You have to get your cars out for Boxing Day.
All right, mate. You take care. I'll see you next week.
No worries. Take care, yeah.
All right. Bye.
The Invincible podcast. Myself, Robbie, and Lee Judges come together once a week to discuss all things Arsenal. Straight talking, considered discussion, brought to you by the fans of the only club in Football League history to go invincible.